Hello, welcome to my channel. Today we're going to talk about pedals and the different types, and then different types of shoes and how they interact with the pedals. Once again, I was in a discussion online and about pedals, and I just thought, well, might as well do a video on it. Seems to be the theme these days.
Windy again. Love this trail. Woo. Might have to overshoot some of these this time.
Here we go, Chad.
Oh yes. Can't believe I just did that.
Hello, so here we are. I have a selection of pedals and a selection of shoes, and I'm going to talk a little bit about pedal types, shoe types, and why you might want some combos and not others. Let's go over here to my left. Odyssey Twisted Pro, I believe this is. I run these on my BMX bike, mostly my street bike. They're cheap. I believe they were like 15, 20 bucks, somewhere like that. Plastic, tough, but cheap, so if I break them or grind on them, things like that, it's not a big deal. Then we come over here, and this is another BMX pedal, but a little bit nicer, sealed bearing, thinner profile. So if you look at the profile, they're definitely thinner. Got some sun coming in there once. And then plastic pins, slightly textured surface, concave. So these are quite a bit nicer actually than these pedals. And I'll talk about that in a minute. And then here we have probably the most common pedal in mountain biking that I know of right now, RaceFact Chester pedals. Plastic body, pretty thin profile, plastic or metal pins. So comparing, the only thing that I don't really like about these is I can feel this, what I call bone, or this where the spindle goes through in the middle, but it's not terrible. And then over here we've got the most expensive pedals I own. These I believe are around 250 bucks. They're Hope pedals, aluminum body, sealed bearing, really aggressive pins. Definitely my favorite pedal of all my pedals. So we're kind of going, as far as traction goes, from the left to the right. So for those of you that are newer to mountain biking, definitely make sure your bike has something like these at minimum. If it has like a plastic, like kind of caged, like U-shaped plastic pedal with just teeth on it and doesn't have like a platform with these little pins, ditch those pedals and get yourself some nicer pedals. You'll thank me later, and I'm going to talk about shoes, especially for newbies, in a minute. So over here we're in the BMX world. We're not as concerned about having our foot just glued to the pedal, and over here we're going more for that ultimate pedal to foot traction. But the shoe really matters here, and I think that's one of the things I see a lot of people talking about pedals and what's the best pedal and this and that, and I don't hear a lot of people talking about shoes. And you can certainly get something like this, and it might improve your contact a little bit, but it's not going to do much until you get the right shoe for the job. So we're going to start on what not to do. Here I have my walking running shoe, and I see this a lot. I see somebody go out and get like Chesters because they heard Chesters are the best pedals, and then they're using their running shoe on it. And I'm just like, oh, really? Like, get the right shoe for the job. Don't do this. This actually is not the best combination. It's not a very good combination at all. I can totally slide the shoe around on there. The bottom of this is not designed to grip into these pins. And then you have these little grooves in here, and what happens is your pins aren't consistently gripping the shoe. Some of the pins are not gripping because they're in where there's a gap, and some of the pins are contacting the shoe, and that's the problem. And then you move around like this, and then you'll get caught in those grooves, and then look, my foot's not even in the ideal position on the pedal. Like, that's where I have traction. I might find another spot, I don't know. Oh, there we go. Yeah, that's terrible. Like, you just don't have like infinite ideal foot placement. So don't do this. Just, if you got running shoes, get the right shoe for the job. Here's another one I see. Boots or any shoe with super aggressive tread. And I think people think, oh, this aggressive tread will grab the pins and then I'll have this ultimate traction. Again, it's all about surface area. Again, the pins are catching these grooves where they want, and not all pins are in contact. Like right here, I see 3 pins that are in contact with the boot right now. 3. Like, none of these are in the front. That one's going in a groove. Yeah, literally 3. This is not going to give you any traction at all. Your boot's going to move around, and sure, when you lock in, your foot's not going to be in the ideal position when it finally, yeah, there, it's locked in. Yeah, it's not ideal. So don't do this either. This isn't the way to go. Let's get to the shoes that actually matter. Over here on the left, I have a 510 shoe. You might hear a lot of people talk about 510s. In my opinion, they're the best flat pedal shoe on the market for mountain biking. I say that specifically because I've got these 2 over here, and I'll describe that in a minute. I know these are red on the bottom. They're actually not red. They're black. But I ride up at a place called Cuyuna here in central Minnesota, and there's red dirt everywhere. It turns everything red. Tires red, pedals red, shoes red, whatever. So just imagine these are black. So these are a super gummy, soft bottom. I can literally stick my fingernail in, and it, eventually goes away, but you can see it for a few seconds. Super soft. So because of that, you don't really want to use these as your normal walking shoes or hiking shoes. These are a couple of years old, and that's why you see that it's kind of worn out. But even with these little areas that look like they're getting grooved out, these still work super excellent. So, I mean, I still have quite a bit of riding left out of these before I would consider them done. And the reason for that is I don't walk in them. I use these only for biking, and when I'm not riding, I use the shoe I threw over there, the running walking shoe, right? So, best combo for most traction, if that's what you're looking for, and I do say this for like mountain biking, if you're riding and you need to do some climbing, or you're doing really aggressive downhill and you want your feet to stick to the pedals, is either going to be this combo. And the reason why, this isn't the best, but it's really good for the amount of money you spend, because I believe these pedals are, if I remember right, $60 or something like that. But you can go all out and get really, really nice pedals in these shoes, and this is the best combo there is. But keep in mind, these are like $250, so you don't necessarily need to spend that kind of money. This is why Chesters and 510 shoes are the best combo, and these are sealed bearing and everything, so they're gonna last. They're nice pedals. So that's if you want to go best traction. You're climbing, you want to be able to pull back on your pedal and get that scoop. You point your toe a little bit to get the little extra pull, almost like you're clipped in, maybe not 100%, but really close. That's the combo you want to go. If you're doing more dirt jumping, or BMX style riding, then you're going to want to go a shoe like this. These shoes, here's Vans, have not as soft of a bottom, but still soft, gum sole or whatever you want to call it. It's kind of why it's this tan color. And it's got this kind of intricate pattern on here. These style shoes came out in the late 60s for skateboarders, but in the 70s, BMX racers started using them. And then Vans added this extra little tighter pattern right where your pedal goes because of that. So there's kind of like a skate shoe turned into a BMX and skate shoe because they were so popular for both sports, 70s, 80s, and they're still popular today. Very common shoe that a lot of riders still love to use. Ride Concepts Vice shoe, I just got this year. I believe they're a new design. They kind of stole the Vans idea and tried to add a little more protection to the shoe, a little bit stiffer, a little more arch support, things like that, than what I would find in most Vans, but very much the same thing. So between these two shoes, if I'm riding my BMX bike, I like to use an all plastic pedal, plastic pins, plenty of traction, really good. I like it, but I can move my foot around a little bit, and I like that when riding BMX. I don't like my foot to just be absolutely glued to the pedal, and that's because I'm throwing my BMX bike around, trying tricks, might be taking my feet off the pedals and putting them back on, things like that. And I want, like when you put your foot back on, if it's not exactly in the right position, you want to be able to slide it in there really quick, things like that. So for BMX, jumping, skate park use, street, things like that, I like this combo. Actually for dirt jumping, this is actually the combo I rode this past summer. So I rode the Vice shoe and this Hope pedal on my 26-inch DJ bike, and I really liked this. A little bit better traction than going here, not a ton, but a little bit, but enough to where I could still move my foot around on here. You know, I like to be able to slide my foot and put it and position it. When you go with a 5'10" shoe like this, I'm glued to the pedal. In order for me to reposition my foot, I literally have to pick my foot up off the pedal and position it. And I don't necessarily always like it, especially for like dirt jumping and BMX type stuff, bike park stuff, skate parks, things like that. So this is going to be more like really good traction, but with a little bit of freedom to move around. This is going to be like glued to the pedal. So if you're kind of thinking I'm going to go platforms instead of clipless on a mountain bike, this is the route you want to take. You know, affordable. If you really want to spend the money, go for it. So that pretty much covers kind of why you want to use a certain shoe or a certain pedal for certain things. A lot of bikes, when you get them stock, either don't come with pedals and you pick your pedals out. So if you're really starting out and you want to stick with inexpensive, get a good plastic BMX platform, but then make sure you get a shoe like a 5'10", even a Vans. You're going to do pretty good. If you're looking for ultimate traction though, and you're new to mountain biking, you're going to be doing a lot of single track riding, climbing, downhill stuff, or you're out west or whatever, go for maximum traction. If you don't know the term Freerider, that's why these are called Freerider Pros. Therefore, going out, hitting the downhills, doing the really crazy stuff. That's what this shoe is designed for. Best traction combo out there. I know there's some other companies trying to do a similar thing as 5'10". I've tried the Shimano's. I've even tried the Ride Concepts version, and I still think the 5'10's got them both beat as far as most traction on the pedal. So that's my take on it. I really like your support of my channel. I hope you got some value out of this information. Please like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.